Hi, Eddie Murray, former Detroit Lion. Make sure you watch Mike on Mike on YouTube.
What's going on YouTube? This is your boy Mr. Micro Mike, and today I'm going to grade the performance by position of the Detroit Lions from last night's game against the Arizona Cardinals. Before I get into the game, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to my channel, hit the bell for all my notifications, and leave me a comment and tell me what you think about what happened last night. And I know it's not good. First off, I want to say a huge thank you to you all. I broke a record of 101 people on my live stream doing play-by-play. Absolutely awesome. Thank you so much. Without you guys, I'm definitely not in the position that I am in. You guys are the absolute best. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's start with the defense first. We'll go from the secondary all the way to the line, and then we'll do special teams, and then we'll go into the offense and coaching. So let's start with the secondary. I felt like they did fairly well. I'd give them an 8 out of 10. I believe that Darius Slay's name was never called because they just simply didn't throw his way. Slay, we know big play Slay, man. He's a great corner, and he showed it last night. I mean, no one threw his way, so that's really good. Rashawn Melvin, a very good compliment. Number 2, he had a very good game last night. He was dealing with injuries, yet he still kept powering through him. He was blocking the balls that was getting sent his way, and he was on his receiver the whole time, and he did a really good job. He had an up and down game. He made some really good plays, and then he made some bunk plays. It's hard for really to tell exactly when you're grading the secondary because of the defensive line. So I'm going to just say it was an up and down game. He had some good, he had some bad. When it comes to the safety position, Walker, great job. He had an interception. He's a playmaker. And that's what happens when you get folks who can pressure the quarterback. They make errant throws, and the people in the secondary can make plays. And obviously, Stephon Diggs, he hit hard like he always does, and they did well. Diggs had a couple bad plays, but he did a lot better than bad. So when it comes to secondary, 8 out of 10, that's a B in my eyes, and they did fairly well. When it comes to linebacker position, I'm going to give them a B minus, I think, and so about a low 8, high 9, in around that range. So I felt like Tavai was the outstanding player. He did well as a rookie. He's fast. He sacked the quarterback. He was getting after it. He was all over the field, man. I felt like the linebacking core did well with Jalen Reeves-Maybin in the place of Davis. He did well as well. Again, it's hard to judge every player again because we're going to talk about the defensive line. Now, they did make a couple of plays at the end of the game with the tight ends of the Arizona Cardinals, and they got a couple first downs. And I think that hurt a little bit, but it's hard, again, to judge the linebacking core in this secondary because of the defensive line. I am giving them a 6 out of 10. They did not do well. There was no pressure on the quarterback, it felt like, the whole game. I don't know what happened there. They did well in the first couple quarters, and they were stopping the run, but then Johnson got away and made a couple gashes. At the end, that defense was really, they were gassed, and they were really starting to get gassed down the middle, and Kyler Murray was making plays, so they just did not get to the quarterback at all. Where was Trey Flowers? I don't know. Mike Daniels, I don't know. Snacks Harrison got beat a little bit. And I think if you got to look at with these guys, they didn't get a whole lot of conditioning in the training camp. So maybe that has something to do with a little bit because those guys were gassed and they were gassed quick, but it definitely did not help due to the offense slowing them down. So a mixed grade on the defense, and they did fairly well given the circumstances of how tired they were due to the offensive not sustaining drives. That's what I seen there. Let's jump to special teams. I'm going to go ahead and give them a D, so a 6 out of 10. And that's because Prater made the field goals. That's the positive. Now let's get to Jamal Agnew, and he played like trash. The coverage as well was not good. We had penalties after penalties by D. Virgin, and obviously the fumble that Agnew did that resulted in 3 points was absolutely, absolutely garbage. He could not get past anyone. I don't know if his confidence is gone, it got blown, or what, but he was definitely not performing to standard. And the only reason it's not an F, the only reason we're not doing 5 out of 10 is because of Prater. That's it. Prater made the field goals, and when it comes to special teams, if it wasn't for Prater, that thing would be garbage. It would be garbage because the special teams did not play well at all. Not at all. They didn't play well. Flag every time. Let's jump to the offense, the offensive line. Taylor Decker made this offensive line look like it was not good at all. Swiss cheese on that left side. He gave up sacks. He was getting called for penalties. He was holding left and right. Taylor Decker got destroyed. So the rest of the offensive line I thought did fairly well. But when it comes to Taylor Decker, boy, he dropped that down from, it could have been a B to a D, a 5.9, a 6. The rest of them I felt like they did fairly well, but Taylor Decker really destroyed every confidence that I had on the offensive line. This is something that we talked about all off season. What's the two things that could hurt us? It was the offensive line and coaching. And that hurt us. Taylor Decker hurt us. He is absolutely subpar right now. He's playing far below standard. Now, it did not help. They did not give him help. And I will talk about that in the coaching grades. But he really hurt us there, folks. He really hurt us for sure. The ability to open up the holes sometimes was there, but it was not sometimes. Taylor Decker just got killed. He got crushed. Let's go ahead and go to the wide receivers. I'm going to give them a C. I would say a 7 out of 10. They made some good plays by Marvin Jones Jr. and Kenny Galladay and Danny Amendola. Then they made a couple drops. That killed us. The drop in the end zone. That would have been for a touchdown. That would have been the game changer. They dropped it. They failed that. Danny Amendola had 104 yards, I believe. He did well, but that ending where he did not get out of bounds hurt us big time. Absolutely hurt us. So I'm giving the grade of a 7 out of 10. It came close to a D, but they did make some good catches out there. But again, it was they should have been better than that. With the talent on the field, they were below the standards that I expected them to be. Absolutely, they should have been better than that. Let's go to the tight end position. A+, that is a 10 out of 10. Jesse James made a critical first down catch. TJ Hawkinson broke all rookie records. I think it was 130 yards and a touchdown. He is a monster. He's a beast. He is everything and plus more that we took him with in the first round of the top 10 picks. He is an absolute beast. He's going to the Pro Bowl this year. He may be all-pro. He is a fantastic player, and he needs to be fed a lot. Awesome, awesome tight end play. Absolutely better than last year. 10 out of 10, absolute difference makers. Let's go to the running backs. I'm going to give Kerryon Johnson and CJ Anderson. They seem to be getting most of the plays. I would give them a C. They would make good plays, and then they would make bunk plays. It felt like Kerryon Johnson was getting taken down by the first defender. CJ Anderson made a couple of good plays, but then he got taken down a couple of times. I think, again, this has a lot to do with the offensive line. That left side was hurting us, man. It was hurting us. And Taylor Decker really screwed the pooch on this. And so, with those guys, I felt like, it was a mixed bag. And when it comes to the new running back that kept getting on screens, I think it was McCarrick or I believe his name is that. I'm terrible with names, folks, as you all know. He did fairly decent. If they wouldn't have called that timeout, folks, that would have been a game, probably a touchdown. No matter what, it would have been game. But unfortunately, the timeout was called by our coaching staff. We'll go to the quarterback, Matthew Stafford. I'm going to give him an A. He did the best possibly he could do. I think he had 380 yards, a couple of touchdowns. Matthew Stafford did very well with what he's given. He did make a couple bad throws, but he played a lot better than I thought he would even play. He did well. He did very good. I mean, he was on target with T.J. Hawkinson. A couple of wide receivers made a couple of drops that was right in their hand, right in their chest, and that frustrated me. But Matthew Stafford did the best with what he could have, and they didn't trust Matthew Stafford at the end, resulting in a tie, folks. Resulting in a tie. So now let's get to coaching. I give this an absolute F. I give it a 5 out of 10, 4.5 to 5 out of 10. Absolute F. We started slow in the first quarter. We picked it up in the second quarter by gaining some points, but then they went not to win, but they did not want to play to win. They wanted to play not to lose, and that really, really pissed me off. It was frustrating. Matt Patricia has no more excuses. I gave him excuses last year due to being a rookie head coach. He had a shorter offseason than everybody else, and plus the roster talent was not up to par. However, there's no excuse now. There is no excuse for me, and I will not be excused for what I saw on there. His game management in the last 5 minutes of the game was the absolute worst. I've never seen any horrible game management like that. They were doing timeouts when they shouldn't have done timeouts. We had one timeout left when we had a drive with the ability to drive it down and score, and they just wouldn't do it. Obviously, the timeout for when they took it out to get the first down to win the game, absolutely atrocious. They did not trust Matthew Stafford, a veteran quarterback that's been doing this forever. They did not. That's my grade overall. I give them a D+ about the game. We should have won that game, and the coaching staff lost it for us, folks. The coaching staff lost it for us. With no sustained drives on offense, that hurt our defense and wore them out. Hopefully they can get this stuff squared away, because we got a must-win game coming up with the Chargers, and it's time for me to go ahead. I'm going to dissect the film when it comes to, I want to do the last 5 minutes of the drive of the Arizona and Lions game, and I will do that tomorrow. I'm going to dissect it play by play, because I want to see what in the hell was going on and get a very up-close look. Now, it has nothing to do with the Cardinals. Right now, I'm moving on from the Cardinals. This is Monday. It is time to move on from the game and look forward to the Chargers. But tomorrow, I will dissect what went wrong with the coaching staff, what went wrong with that 5 minutes. And I'm not talking overtime. I'm just going to talk about that last 5 minutes, because that's what we lost the game for. That was absolutely what I need to look at more than anything. I think it's imperative to look upon what this team did wrong and what we can do to improve on to get better. And look, you seen me get mad. Sergeant Micro Mike came out, man. I was a sergeant in the Army, and you know, when I want to see perfection, when I want to see professionals go to a standard that they need to be at that standard. There's no excuses this year, none whatsoever, and they better start winning now, or it's going to get real bad real quick. But it is what it is. I will also this week will look into the Los Angeles Chargers, and we'll break down what I think is going to take place and what I think what's going to happen. So with that said, folks, again, I appreciate all the love that I'm getting and subscribers and views. Adios.